Like our Achilles heel is the defensive positioning. The defense just sucks. And yeah, Sepulveda just making a lot of blunders, a lot of mistakes. The only like silver lining to this is our refuerzos have been performing, which is good to see.
Good.
A lot of the times they take too long to settle in, but Richie scoring and Brian Gonzalez scoring. And honestly, if it wasn't for a post, like if Rain Alvarez would have already scored for us, but we're still waiting for his Chivas official goal. But I'm happy about that part. But there's still a lot of kinks to work out, and I think it's going to be frustrating not to see this team get through to the final four from the Liga MX side.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that's one of the things for me of this tournament. If you're gonna try out players or try out systems or try out tactics, well, this is a good tournament to do it. Especially if your Milito is just coming into Chivas and his goal is Liguilla, get into Liguilla. I'm sure that's the minimum requirement. And I think that's just the position Chivas is in right now, where they do have to treat this as like a preseason. Um, it's like you said, the media is going off on them for not, for not getting the results. But I think some clubs can go hard, and some others just, it depends where you're at. And I think for Chivas, to me, it's good, dude. And I mean, they even get to do penalty kicks, which is also good. It's also going to come in handy, later on in the league.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the only frustrating part with Chivas is they're not really giving Ormiga minutes. This is the perfect tournament to
Or
experiment.
Weston, did he score? He just scored. He's
Yeah,
right. He scored the.
he scored 2 goals in that match against Atletico San Luis, right? So running on high momentum, and what do you do in Leagues Cup? You give him like scrap minutes, which is very frustrating.
I know,
So,
but if he's gonna be his main guy or one of his main guys, then you need to start trying out number two, number three, or else they're really not gonna get any minutes.
that's true. That's true. But I just also want to add some context in the fact that Charlotte and New York Red Bulls aren't the best that MLS has to offer. To give you some context about Charlotte, they lost 4-1 to Juarez. And Juarez, who tied 1-1 to Cholos in their last Liga MX game. And then so like the teams we faced were very beatable, and we weren't able to do that, to overcome them, and that's unfortunate. And hopefully we can get past that, because I do think this team passes the eye test. They create chances, they look good, and yeah, he's still getting out the kinks, and hopefully he does so soon in the next match tomorrow, I believe, right? Or is it the next day?
The next match is, where are they? They play Thursday.
Do you know who they play? Does it say?
Yeah, they will play against Cincinnati.
Uh,
We don't have
well,
a we
other
don't
than
have a
that,
good record against them.
maybe now. Maybe at least that'll be the one W in during the regulation time. No, I think what Riff Raff is saying, those teams aren't the strongest, but to me they see Chivas, and it's a team to beat. They know it's gonna get them more headlines and more juice if they beat that team. I think that's
So
part of.
so this Cincinnati team went to penalties with Juarez and lost to Juarez via penalties. So like this is also another beatable team, and we should beat them. But like things aren't clicking just yet for Chivas, and that's frustrating. It's very frustrating for me as a fan to watch this team that I think has a lot of good pieces. And then but I guess you're only as good as your weakest link. And a couple nights ago, that was Sepulveda, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. Chivas will play that game on Thursday, and then we'll play again in Liga MX on Sunday. So not too much rest between those two matches, and they're gonna have to go to Torreon after playing in Cincinnati. And yeah, it's a short window for resting or recovering from League's Cup. And most likely they will just focus on Liga MX. I don't see them going through.
Yeah.
You know, they have 2. The most they can get is 5, and we already have a couple of teams that have 5 points. So
I think that's the other thing to take also into account of like how you're gonna manage the club so that when you get to the league game, your players aren't, they're not all tired. So I think that factors in to some of the stuff that might not make sense. That why Milito's doing that. I trust him.
He has been rotating. A lot of people
Yeah.
have been rotating, and then a lot of people who do well get substituted off, like like Ledesma.
yeah,
We bring on Mosso, and then Mosso comes in hot, and he brings the assist with the cross for the second goal.
it's a great goal.
And so yeah, and so and I think that plays into the reason why Pulido starts and Ant-Man is off the bench. You give him the advantage of going against tired legs, and he'll win those foot races against them, or
Yeah.
he's more likely to do that. And so like there is reason behind it, but the fact of the matter is we're very reactionary in this industry. You're only as good as your last game,
Mhm.
and he bet wrong, and it made us look bad against beatable opposition that a grande of Liga MX should be able to dispatch, and they didn't. It fell short.
Falling short, America as well, right? They played against Real Salt Lake. Diego Luna scoring, opening the game. And before you know it, Real were up 2-0 at halftime. But America clawed their way back 2-1. And then Eric Sanchez at the very last minute dragged this game into PKs, in which America failed to capitalize and lost. And then they ended up, I believe, winning their last match on PKs against Minnesota on Saturday. But definitely not the expectations that people had for America. Jardine obviously has already been under a lot of scrutiny this summer, losing a lot of matches, and this isn't helping his cause either. I don't know who's more at risk, Jardine for America or Larcamón for Cruz Azul.
I don't see like a Jardine. I mean, I don't see him being sacked anytime soon. I think at best I should say at worst, they'll let him finish out the season. I mean, they have lost a couple games there, but I get it gets thrown out of context in a big reason, obviously, because how much winning they did. So it's like that's the expectation to maintain that form. And we talked about it last in a podcast here from when we were talking about last season, and we were talking about their need to bring in some more players, and they haven't seemed to have brought anyone.
America, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who have they even? I've seen rumors that Bunaga guy or the Galaxy striker.
No,
Fuji,
LAFC.
I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Same thing, Jaime. Yeah, LAFC.
Tell that
I
to the
heard
El
him
Clasico or El
the
Tráfico. whatever the fuck-
Tráfico.
Yeah,
El
whatever.
Tráfico. No, but is that guy, and I've heard mention of a couple other dudes, and it's a bit surprising to me because I would have figured in the offseason they would have brought in at least 3 players. I think they could have used 3 really good players. and I haven't seen anything from them. There's always been the whole they don't do refuerzo bomba, but they just haven't done that in years. Something we used to talk about here in the pod, going way back to when Pelaez was the GM, how they kind of did something similar to Bayern Munich, where Bayern will go after whoever's been killing it in the Bundesliga.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of something Ame would do if they see some player, doing really good in Liga makes them go after that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and they've gotten great results. So, I mean, can't fault them for that.
America did some social media shit that is very reminiscent of Chivas, right? They made it sound like Henry Martin was leaving, but then they announced him as like the new number 9, I think, and then they gave Sendejas the 10. So all they did was like move numbers around on the back of the jerseys, but the players remained the same. Instead of like, signing somebody big to fill that number, they just
that's right. Yeah.
they just did some musical chairs on there. But obviously, like, at least with what Ron said last episode, he doesn't give a shit about Leagues Cup, and he hopes that they lose all 3 matches so they don't get injuries and all that stuff. And I'm like, that might be your perspective, but the media and the fans, they're not gonna put up with this, and it's a easy excuse to start putting pressure and trying to get players or coaches removed from post. So
yeah,
we'll see what the repercussions are for poor performances in Leagues Cup. But we do have a couple of standouts with Tigres, winning 2 out of 2 matches. They're in first place on the Liga MX side with 6 points, and they beat San Diego, which, is the best team in the West. Pachuca also beat them, but, not an easy opponent to defeat. And yeah, they're chilling. Juarez.
And there was a team that brought in a top refuerzo.
Yeah, they did.
A World Cup champion to boot.
Scored both goals.
Yeah, kind of insane to hear it like that, but he brought straight up someone with a World Cup in their resume.
It will be
World Cup
impressive if these performances get him capped for the national team and gets to go to another World Cup. That would be impressive.
But how old is he though?
I want to say, I'll double check right now, but I wouldn't say he's like a has-been. He's still somewhat, he's let's see.
Yeah.
He's 30 years old.
Well, I mean, Argentina has so much talent, bro. It's just hard. But just having that in your resume, did you guys ever see what is it called? Blades of Glory, I think. With Will Ferrell and Napoleon Dynamite when they ice skate.
I know of it, but I've never seen it.
You know, Riff Raff? Here, anyone?
But of
Can make
course,
references. You've seen it?
hell yeah.
Do you remember the name?
Blades of Glory. Wait.
Blades of Glory. Okay, I wanted to make sure, but there's a scene where Will Ferrell, because they get in a fight. Their rival ice skaters, Will Ferrell and Napoleon Dynamite. Forget the actor's name, but it's Napoleon Dynamite. They get in a fight, so they have to go to court because they're gonna suspend them, and they have to plead their case. And Will Ferrell's character, he all he does is lifts a copy of Maxim magazine. Now he's like Maxim magazine issue whatever, best skater in the world, and he sits to the table. And that's like all the argument he needed, and that's how I feel. You have a World Cup. It's in your resume, just bam, World Cup champion, boom. But I mean, it's nice to have those type of players come in Liga MX.
He's got 4 in Leagues Cup in 2 games.
God damn, yeah, he's killing it.
And Lainez and Oziel, they've been starting. They look good. I'm pretty sure Lainez has like an assist, and Oziel's got a goal, I believe.
Yeah, Tigres,
Yeah,
like I said, their bench is better than most team starting 11. They have a deep enough roster to have a deep run in League's Cup, and they were one of my gallos to get through the next round. I'm glad at least one of the teams that I predicted are looking strong. No one would have anticipated Juarez to be doing so well. Like Rifalo mentioned earlier, they got off winning 4-1 to Charlotte. And then, unfortunately, just weren't able to hold on to that lead against Cincinnati. They were up 2-0. And Cincinnati found some extra lungs and fought back. But Juarez did win the penalty shootouts. And that puts them in second place with 5 points. Mazatlan, yet another team that I labeled as a doormat, honestly. But
So back to Juarez real quick. I just want to add one more context. Also,
Yeah,
Juarez
please.
was gutted of their two best players, I thought, last tournament in Raul Forquin, who's the left back for America now, and who else? Campillo,
yeah.
who left to Chivas. You know, two very important players for Juarez, and yet they're still outperforming Chivas. They're most of Liga MX.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And, these matchups, I think they're pretty balanced, right? It's not like Juarez was playing against shitty teams. I mean, they're doing better against the same opponents that we've had, right? Like, they beat Charlotte. We didn't beat Charlotte. And we're going to play Cincinnati next. I doubt we'll be able to score 2 against them. We'll see.
You know what's one thing that just popped into my head right now about Juarez? They play on artificial turf, and I think all of the matches that we played,
Do they?
They do. Juarez plays on artificial turf, and what's it called? Because you've seen Juarez, it's a shithole. You can't keep anything alive. But Cincinnati plays on artificial. Charlotte plays on artificial, right? And so, like, maybe that helped them. I do think that makes a difference.
I don't think so, man. Estadio Olímpico Benito Juárez. I think it's natural grass. Yeah, I think the only team in Liga MX that plays on turf is Tijuana. Yeah, at least to their wiki, it's saying it's grass.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Well, maybe it's just skill then. It's just skill.
I think it's, a lot of teams are flying under the radar and aren't being taken serious, right? People think, oh, Juarez, like the scout reports say that they should be a easy team, and then, they get the best out of you. Mazatlan, I don't have an answer for them. They beat Houston Dynamo, which I know they're not the best team. So I'll give them that, but still getting 5 points. Not a lot of teams in Mexico can say that. Habibi's on? Oh, shit. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. Gracias. I was thinking, how many of these small teams see these tournaments, like how smaller countries see the World Cup? Like, is there a chance to show out, like, for the bigger clubs in their league? Like the guy that went from Juarez to America, or for some bigger money teams on MLS, or maybe some scouts that are watching. I'm sure a lot of these players, their dream is not to stay in Mazatlan, Puebla, Juarez, so they can use an international tournament to do well and maybe get picked up by a bigger team from their league. Why not? I mean, so
That's a good analysis there, Habibi. Definitely. I'm waiting for what happens to Gil Mora, because he has been balling out, and we do have to factor in the fact that he's 16, right? So I don't anticipate him being able to get a work permit to go for a big move abroad this year, but maybe within Liga MX, or who knows?
No, he's going to Europe. His stuff's already mapped out.
But when?
After the World Cup, he has the agent, the female agent. I forgot. I think it's same agent as Raul.
No.
She's one of the top agents. Yeah.
Raul has Jorge Mendes.
Yeah, he has the one Holland has, but doesn't change anything. He still can't leave till he's 18.
Yeah, no, but I mean, just if she's your agent, I thought it was his agent because I saw a picture with all three of them. But if that's your agent, you're in Europe. She didn't she didn't go with him, so he could go to Tigres,
Oh yeah, we don't
or
know he's
two.
going to Europe,
No,
but
Yeah.
we're
I
talking about
think
right now, like this season.
Oh,
yeah, but
well, that
I
was
think his problem is we saw in his last game versus Galaxy. Yes, he scores a brace, but his team still gets smoked by one of the worst teams in MLS right now. So the problem with Mora is how long can you keep up this level, and how's your owner going to respond? Is your
very
owner going
long.
to give you a competitive team, or is your owner just going to be mediocre because he knows he's going to get a fat sell in 2 years?
As long as he
So
keeps getting playing time, it don't matter.
yeah, but he's going to need something to raise his level.
The
And
good
he's gonna
World
need a
Cup. He's
good
got the
team. He's
national
gonna need
team.
a good team to raise his level.
Racing your no, I mean
And he can't
eventually,
go to
yeah, but
domestic league. He's not gonna go to Tigres America or anything like that
still,
because
how
starting
many
like
16-year-olds are getting PT or are the starters? It's a handful. So I think I see
yeah.
what you
So
mean though,
eventually,
but
like you need to outgrow your comfort zone. And the fact is,
yeah,
if Tijuana does not invest and he's stuck there for another year and a half, 2 years, it's gonna be interesting how that plays out.
yeah, yeah, but he's not staying 2 years. He's just gonna stay till
What do you mean? As I say, till he's 18.
Yeah,
no, he
he's
won't stay till
16,
18.
and
Yeah.
again, like getting a work permit is gonna be extremely difficult this summer. So
No, he's after the World Cup.
he's gonna stay put at Tijuana for at least another year. And yeah, he is represented by Rafaela Pimienta, who
There you go.
represents Haaland, Delit, Jimenez, the Santi Jimenez, and
That's the guy I saw, not Raul. My bad.
yeah.
So
He was in a
the 16-year-old thing, that just means more like you just have to pay more money. So like when like back in the day they used to import all kinds of like 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds,
yeah.
and they kind of got lost in the system, so they changed the rules in Europe. So now you have to have like one working parent who works
No,
in the country, right?
he
And so
didn't get lost
basically,
in the system, so they will get abandoned.
yeah, basically. Um, but
Yeah, like
but the thing is like to circumvent that, to let that not happen, you had to bring a parent, right? And in order to bring a parent,
yeah,
they have to pay their way, so they have to be able to get a job, and they have to be able to make money for them
yeah.
to support him and his son or daughter, you know. And so like teams still import kids, but now they have to pay for a parent to come too, and they have to decide, is that worth it? And so I think they're going to come to the conclusion that yes, it is, because this guy's got a lot of hype. The whole country's behind him, and he's talented. He's very talented for his age. So I do think he's going to go. And while it is a road bump or a roadblock or a speed bump, it's not going to stop him
Yeah.
because
Well,
it
that's a
just
coach.
means has
I
to
don't
pay more.
think
They
it
could.
works like that though. I think the rule is that like you cannot leave Mexico at 16 years old, let's say to Spain. Like Madrid cannot come and offer your dad a coaching job to
You
give him
can.
a motive
How
to
did Messi
leave.
go? Messi left
No,
at 13.
I know,
but
but that was like
But
that,
Messi had
Oh,
family
what?
too.
before. But
That
I
lived
mean, the
in
current
Catalonia.
rule, I think the only
This guy
way
has
is
family. His dad plays
like your
soccer.
Joel, that
dad
was
has.
like 20 years ago, bro.
Yeah, I'm talking
Yeah.
about like
See,
right
but
now.
Mora's
The
dad,
current
it used to be a
rule.
professional player,
No,
so
I
like
think
he
your
has
dad would need to
assets.
get a job in Madrid, not with Real Madrid, but in Madrid, and show that he got that job independently of your soccer career. Like it was
And
through
that's
his own
easily
merit.
attainable. Like you're with
Yeah,
an agency,
it
you
is.
don't think the lady can help him get a job? This guy, like,
Anyone from the
Yeah,
socios, any of
you can, but if the legality of other clubs saying like, hey, did this guy really get this job based off his own merit, or let's say Real Madrid get preference and they're making it look like he earned this job and they're just doing it so they can snipe him. So
it's
to
gonna be
some
hard to
people, it's
prove.
not worth
What
the
a
legal trouble. They should rather wait till they're 18. Look at Vinny, look at Rodrigo, look at the guy from River Plate that Madrid just bought. they should rather wait till he turns 18 because it's not worth the legal trouble of jumping through those loopholes to make it look authentic.
What Joel's trying to say or convey is that where there's a will, there's a way. And I think, yes, there will be loopholes or methods of getting Gil Mora before he turns 18, maybe to save on the amount of money that most teams will spend after World Cup, kind of like Chicharito, right? If he had gone after the World Cup, his price would have been 2, 3, 4 times the price. And I think there's going to be a lot of teams. I'm sure there's already teams right now trying to find methods to secure his signature before he becomes of age. And
Oh yeah,
I
I think
think-
a team can buy him
Yeah.
right now. He just can't move now.
yeah. And I think like part of the requirements is like, yeah, your parents have to move with you, and there's all kinds of shit. And I think the easiest league to get into like that underage is going to be like La Liga, because in the EPL it's going to be practically impossible. But he's already good enough to go to Europe, and you know they asked him some questions in English, and he's already speaking fluently in English. So very promising, this kid.
Also, Portugal has a really interesting immigration program where like they're inviting people like who work from home to like get like a Portuguese residency. And so you know, like there's avenues in Europe like for people to work, especially if you have money, like Mora's family does. So I think if they wanted to do it, it could definitely happen.
Yeah, so I was looking at some of the loopholes. It says FIFA prohibits the international transfer of players under the age of 18 unless they meet specific exceptions, such as parents move to the country for non-football reasons, transfer within the EU, EEA for players aged 16 to 18 under strict conditions, academic and football education must be guaranteed, living and support arrangements must be in place, residence near the border. If the player lives near the border and the club is within 50 kilometers of that border.
Yeah. So like I said, it's not worth the legal battle. They can buy him now, but they have to wait till he's 18 so he can actually play over there.
It says
You-
they may sign a player in principle and then loan them back to their club until they're eligible to move.
You know, it's so interesting you said that about like being 50 miles from a border, and that's so interesting here in San Diego. While San Diego FC is able to get an academy in TJ,
That's right.
and so like, a bunch of kids they get sent to the academy, which is less than 50 miles from the border of the United States. And so because they're there, they get to take a bus and practice in San Diego and participate in MLS youth system. So just an interesting segue into how it affects the border here in the United States.
Yeah. Well, there's a will, there's a way. I am totally okay with Gil Mora spending another year in TJ, getting consistent minutes, continuing to flourish, and playing for the national team in the World Cup, and then sitting back and just reaping in the offers. But I would not be surprised if he gets like a pre-contract agreement with one of the big ones, because I think he's that good.
Yeah, I think if Tijuana's smart, they will, at least for his last season there, try to put together a pretty good, strong team, challenge for something, have him leave winning something. I don't think they're going to leave that club being cheeks. It's a team that's won before. Maybe bring back Turco for that season. But I don't think they're going to just let the team be bad.
Yeah.
And I also feel it doesn't affect them. If you're playing, if you're getting just consistent and playing, you're gonna get good, man. You don't have to exactly be the best team. Camoranesi, pretty much, when you went to Italy, he was in second division. No, not second. He was pretty much the relegation-bound team. I don't know which one of the Veronas, Chievo Verona or Hellas Verona. One of those two. I don't know which one.
Uh-huh.
I mean, and that was just relegation bound. They did get relegated, and they still took him to Juventus. So I mean, if you're good, the team's not going to matter. They're rating your individual performance. And as long as he keeps like scoring and giving assists, it don't matter if the team lost 5-2. It makes him look even better if the 2 goals being from him.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
able to shine in that. You're
He's
able to
carrying.
shine in that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that's what gives him this chance to be like a leader within, especially with those weak teams. Um, he starts developing those leadership qualities.
For sure. Let me just go over the table for Liga MX. Again, Tigres on top with 6 points, 2 matches. Juarez with 5, Mazatlan with 5. Toluca in that 4th spot with 5 points. Pumas also with 5. And then Necaxa in 6 with 4. Pachuca with 4. Puebla with 3. Tijuana with 3. America with 3. Monterrey with 2. Guadalajara with 2. San Luis with 2. Cruz Azul with 2. Leon eliminated. They only have 1 point. Santos eliminated. Atlas and Querétaro all with goose eggs. And then on the MLS side, Seattle Sounders with 6 points. Portland with 6 points. Inter Miami with 5. Minnesota with 4. Well, there was an interesting match between Necaxa and Inter Miami. Red cards were thrown out there. There was a lot of drama. And in the end, Inter Miami get through on PK shootout. They tied 2-2 and then beat Necaxa 5-4 on PKs. I think the big concern for the Messi fans all over the world is he was injured and was subbed out early in the match and is expected to miss 3 to 4 weeks. So that has been Necaxa's biggest contribution to the world of soccer, and I thank them for taking out Messi.
Next Miami game is gonna be like 40% less people. Fucking bandwagons. Hey, and so when you were going over the standings right now, one that stood out to me a lot is Querétaro. These white guys just paid 120 million for them. They're 0-3 in La Liga, and they're 0-2 in Leagues Cup. So you buy this team for 120 million, and they lost 5 games in a row. So that
Yeah.
makes you say, we got to spend some money, or that we get fleeced. Like, what is going on here? And it looks like they're going to finish at the bottom for the whole tournament. That would be my prediction, that Querétaro finishes at the bottom of the end of the season.
Querétaro should be playing second division football, in my opinion. So we'll see what this new investment group does with that team. But going back to the Inter Miami thing, I know Mascherano had some comments after the game, basically just sounding like a little bitch, complaining about the refereeing and say, how is it possible that you're allowing a referee from the same federation, officiate a match? It's biased. It's not fair. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up, man. Like, you look at your team, like the amount of loopholes that Inter Miami has made to have the team that they have, like Jordi Alba, Busquets, De Paul, Messi, Suarez. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, you should have no complaints after any game. You guys are basically being handheld all the way every single match. It's like, dude, just stop talking, man. By the way, this is open for discussion. If you guys are listening on Twitter Spaces, feel free to chime in. But yeah, Necaxa are doing respectable. 6th place, still have a chance of getting to the next round and have their Welcome to Necaxa debut on, I believe, August 7th. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Wanted to touch a little bit on the goalkeeping position. Malagon and both Rangel have made a lot of mistakes, not just in League's Cup, but in league play. And things are looking a little bit shaky if we're looking a year into, the World Cup. Neither goalkeeper feels like a safe choice or a solid bet. It seems like they all have their flaws. And in my opinion, I think that the goalkeeping position for the Mexican national team is wide fucking open. And if Memo Ochoa finds a team, I would not be surprised if he ends up being the safe bet for Javier Aguirre in 2026. I don't know what you guys think. Also, please let me know if you're having issues hearing. I'm not sure if we're having audio problems, but go ahead, anybody.
Yeah, I don't know if it's me, but can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I think Malagon and Tala's demise is greatly exaggerated. Like Darth Sidious or whatever his name is from Star Wars, my demise was greatly exaggerated. I think they had a bad couple of games, but even in those games, they had good moments, especially Malagon, who had a penalty save in the shootout. He had a bad moment, and he's going to continue to have those because he's a shorty, because he doubts himself in coming out, and because America has a bad defense right now. They're in a bad moment, so he's going to be put to the test. And when he makes a mistake, it's going to be magnified, multiplied, and that's unfortunate. But that's what happens when you're a goalkeeper. Tala Rangel, his mistakes were a little bit more whack. That one against Charlotte, where it's from the corner kick, or no, from the free kick late on. He should have had that. That was his post. That was his front post, and he let it in, and that was like juvenile from him. And then he does like this petulant child thing where he scolds the defense. That was his ball, 100%. So his stock fell more than I think than Malagon. But Malagon is in Club America, and so like everyone's gonna criticize him. But I don't think it's so bad. What I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's really hard to be an advocate for Tala Rangel. I like him. I like him a lot. I think he has more to offer. He has a higher ceiling than Malagon, especially in the aerial battle, which is something that you need to lock down if you're a goalkeeper in a World Cup. Like, set pieces are a big fucking deal, especially corner kicks. And you want to have that assurance, that confidence that your goalkeeper is going to challenge those aerials. And Malagon won't do it. He's just not that goalkeeper. His other aspects of his game are okay. And I don't know if at the end of the day it's going to be a factor in the World Cup, but in my opinion, I still think that this race is wide open, and maybe somebody can surprise us. I know Pachuca's goalkeeper all of a sudden is looking good. I wouldn't be surprised if even Acevedo starts heating up and they start considering him. I mean, right now, if you're a goalkeeper in Mexico, you have a shot. 100%.
Jurado's hot. You know, Juarez is doing great. Los Bravos. And he was a big part of the penalty win. I think he had 2 saves in the last one.
Yep.
So I know like people like fucking shit on this guy because he really has been through it. It didn't work out for him at Cruz Azul, and at Veracruz, he was like letting in 5 or 6 goals a day. So this guy can take a beating. So I'm hoping for him to pull through this tournament and become the goalkeeper we all hoped he was. I don't know, 10 years ago it seems. But like I don't think Ochoa is a shoe-in. I think they're gonna take him maybe for marketing reasons. But Aguirre, you know, what you see is what you get with Aguirre a lot of the time. And what we have seen is Malagon day in and day out. And I don't think he's done anything to warrant a change in that. Or like the other guys haven't convinced anyone of like changing that. I mean, sorry.
I mean, with Ochoa, we're already in August, and he's still a free agent, right? I mean, his biggest concern is finding the team at this point, which is
But he's not playing
surprising.
neither. You know, there was times he wasn't playing in his career, and he was still our starter. He's not starting for us. He's not even seeing any bench time or like I mean subbed in at all. You know, I don't know. He's I think he's far from taking the spot.
All right, this is gonna be a hot take. Call me crazy, delusional, bipolar, but I feel more confident and comfortable having Ochoa be our starter as of right now. If you were to say who's your starter for the 2026 World Cup, if it was to start like tomorrow, I'll take Ochoa over Malagon and Talavera. I'm sorry, bro, but I'd rather have the devil that you know than the devil that you don't.
I would agree with that. If the World Cup was like tomorrow, I would do that. I mean, it shows you the importance of the World Cup and how it props players up artificially. Because if the World Cup wasn't around the corner and it came down to like merit, I don't see a reason why Cota couldn't compete for that America spot from Malagon. But no coach is going to take it away from him, especially from up top, because they know that's their guy going into the World Cup that they won on the national team. Same with Tala. If Tala keeps fucking up, you would think Wale would get a chance to compete for that position. But Chivas knows as well that Tala, that's their key to sending the guy to the World Cup as well. So probably keep him in there regardless of mistakes.
I think it has more to do with Wale being a fucking bum.
I don't know, man. I still think he's not Mexican and they won't admit it.
Yeah, we don't know with Wale how good he is because he's never really played for Chivas, and it's really unfortunate because if you're Milito, you give a fuck about Mexico and trying to support the national team. You just want the best goalkeeper for the role, right? And light a fire under all three goalkeepers because you have El Dragon, right? He won a couple titles with Tapatio. And you got Wale who played in Europe, right? So if you're Rangel, I would just be like, hey, you guys are all starting at zero in my eyes, so you got to earn that title, that starting spot. And yeah,
So I just wanna put this out there, like El Dragon got more games than Wally, right?
yeah.
And when I saw El Dragon, he was utter dog shit. So I can only imagine that Wally is even worse.
I don't think so.
I don't know, man. He looked decent in that one game he played against Bilbao.
Yeah,
He looked decent.
know.
That's what I think. I don't think he's Mexican, man. I think he's blackmailing them. Keep paying me my contract, or I'll come out clean.
Yeah, I got no connections to Mexico. Sorry. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out later. If he gets like treated poorly or kicked out the door, he's gonna come out with some dirty laundry.
So
Like, just imagine that job, man. Like, he doesn't have to train well. He can get drunk the night before. He can eat like shit, and he knows he's still gonna get paid well, and he's not gonna play. It's like the perfect position for a bum.
What
were you gonna say, Arifalo?
If I remember correctly, Wally is, I think, a part of Bragarni's players, or he's associated with like some big time group or like a marketing agency.
I see.
And I think his contract was a way to basically wash money or just like pay dues or the tax.
Yeah. Yeah. I think again, wide open. I do like Pachuca's goalkeeper. Jurado, that's gonna be a tough sell, but who knows? And then my issue is this is Javier Aguirre that we're talking about, who doesn't always make the obvious choice. I mean, what he did in 2010 was so fucking dirty, choosing Conejo over Ochoa. That was criminal. So who the fuck knows what's going through his head and who he'll end up choosing as our starting goalkeeper for the World Cup next year.
I just hope it's not Ochoa, man. I think they're past that guy, but who knows, man? He's had such great World Cups. Maybe he's got another one in him. I doubted him last time around, but I saw. The thing is I saw him play for that Portuguese team, and he sucked. And then I saw him play. I forgot what was the Italian side's name. They also sucked, and he looked bad. He looked bad. He had some amateurish goals that he let in for the Portuguese side, where he's like looking at the sun. It's fucking stupid. Um, so I don't know. Malagon is still like the lesser evil.
Nah, hey, that Mexico goalkeeping jersey has some magical powers. He puts his cape on every time he puts it on. And aside from his club performances, there's one thing I can't knock on him is when it comes to the national team, he comes through. You're in good hands, like Allstate. Very clever that they picked him for, the commercial guy for that, but very accurate. And he's still doing commercials for he's doing this one with the tequila. I'm like, all right, bro. Like they're gonna drag this dude along for the World Cup. There's no way they're not gonna miss out on it because he's like marketable, right? Especially with people that don't know Mexico that well. They know Ochoa, and they look forward to him having a crazy ass game. Like at least you're guaranteed one crazy ass save from Ochoa at the world level at the World Cup, right? Like he had that PK save against Lewandowski in the last edition, which was iconic, right? Like it's like what we expected from Ochoa. Like he always does this one thing in every World Cup to speak by, and yeah, I got to give him credit for that. And wouldn't be the worst decision in the world to have him start over Malagon and Rangel as of right now. But a lot can happen in a year, and hopefully our goalkeepers step up and reduce these kind of mistakes that are really bad. Somebody was nice enough to break down the Leagues Cup numbers for both sides. So MLS has won 17 matches. Liga MX has won 19. MLS has 66 goals to Liga MX 57 and 52 assists for MLS versus 40 of Liga MX. So, yeah.
Sorry, what was the MLS Liga MX goals?
MLS 66, Liga MX 57.
Okay, so 9 difference, subtracted 7 from Cruz Azul, so 2. 2 not bad. 2 advantage is not that bad.
That's funny. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
The thing about it is that so many people like just gloss over it all the time. It's this is all away games. You're playing all the matches away from home. If you're lucky, you're playing a third party venue, but most of the time you're playing in the opposition stadium where they know every crevice. They know they don't have to travel. They can stay focused and stay there and practice there and get more time like preparing for the match. And so like you start off in the negative. All these Mexican teams do, and a lot of them are still performing. And I think I don't want to say like that's an excuse, but it is important context.
Well, I mean, if we do that with a national team, all of a sudden it's amazing, like they're getting challenged. But if we do it with a club, then all of a sudden it's a disadvantage. I mean, which one is? I mean, like this is Ron's Copa Libertadores wet dream. You're going to hostile territory. You're required to perform. Like, I think it's a good thing. I mean, take advantage of it. I mean, it benefits all your players, like Joel was saying, and benefits you in the league as well. And that's the other importance of as a coach. You want to how much you want to risk for Leagues Cup compared to the league. Like we saw what happened with Monterrey. Look at Monterrey; they went and they did well the last tournament. They picked up key injuries up to like the semis that they made it to, and then that screwed them over in the league. They never wound up getting hot because they were waiting to recover from all those injuries.
So you're saying it's a good thing because of the adversity, and that might be true, but the fact of the matter is like having to travel, not knowing the venue, like less time to practice. These are all disadvantages, and yes, that might make you a better player, but it leaves you at a disadvantage. and so like that doesn't negate that fact. You can spin it and say like we're gonna pull ourselves by the bootstraps, and that's well and good, but that doesn't negate what I just said at all.
No, it doesn't. And like, sort of agree with you with the whole Monterrey thing. Like, they did well last tournament, but it wound up screwing them with injuries, the travel, everything that they picked up. So that's my question as a coach: how much serious thought you want to put into this, or does the pressure have to come up from up top? That, like, for example, a Mauri, does he say, "Hey guys, we just saw the Club World Cup. You can make $20 million for making it out of your club. This would be huge for the club. Leagues Cup is a perfect way to get into Champions League. It's a lot easier to qualify to Champions League through Leagues Cup than winning Liga MX. So let's take advantage of this tournament." So I mean, that's where the pressure has to come from. But I also feel like as a player, though, and even as a coach, especially as a fan, it feels like a waste of time because you can win all 3 games and still not qualify to the next round.
That's true.
So I don't know who came up with that. Like, with Chivas, they lose their first game, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, we're already eliminated," because the other teams are gonna go 3 for 3, and they're gonna compete for the top 4. So I don't know who came up with that format, but it's just so fucking dumb.
It's disappointing for Chivas because this was our like one and only opportunity to get to the CONCACAF Champions Cup, because we're not going to win the league most likely. This was an easier avenue towards that, I think, and it's not going to happen. Like, so many things have to go right for us to go to the next phase of the Leagues Cup, and that's unfortunate. But who does it benefit? Probably the MLS teams. This whole tournament from its birth was
Yeah.
designed to be at the advantage of the MLS teams, and the majority of these games have been coached by MLS coaches. I mean, MLS refs, and they're all away, and like they organize it. It's their game, and Mexican teams are just invited. They just live in it. So that, like, to answer your question, it's all designed to benefit the MLS.
And Messi and friends for sure.
But our owners, the Caballeros, are complicit. They're okay with that, and that's probably the most awful part of it.
The only thing I will give its flowers to Leagues Cup is how enjoyable the broadcasts have been. The ability to have multiple matches on your display, and just the no ad rolls in the middle of the fucking game. No like stupid shit happening on the. No, the broadcasts have been high quality. Like, I got nice TVs, man, and they like I've never seen Liga MX look so good on TV. And yeah, just I wish that Apple would consider doing the same thing they did with MLS with Liga MX and throw stupid money at the entire league to gobble up those rights, because I would much rather have that than having to scramble on 4 or 5 different networks or streaming services to watch Liga MX. And it just goes to show how dog shit VIX and VIX Plus is. Like, they're just stealing our money because it is nowhere near the quality of Apple TV.
Dude, VIX is the only streaming app that I canceled the free trial like the first day. Like, it was so terrible that I was like, I'd rather go to the bootleg website with the porno ads than use this free trial. Like, the bootleg site is ahead of you guys. Like, how is that possible? Like, how are you the official streaming app and you're like lagging compared to a bootleg website?
Yeah. The biggest thing that grinds my gears about VIX Plus is even with a paid subscription, you still are forced to watch ads before your game is displayed. And I was losing my freaking mind one day. I was rushing home to watch like a Chivas away match, and I put on VIX, and I'm like trying to find out what the score is. And all of a sudden, it's like I have to watch like 2 minutes of ads. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, bro, this is a premium subscription. Like, you're still forcing me to watch ads right now? Like, I can't even see the score. I can't even watch the broadcast. Like, this is horrible. Like, who designed this? Like, who did this, bro? Like, it's the worst ever.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good thing about Leagues Cup. I also like Leagues Cup from a betting perspective because, like, you could blindly choose any game to go over 2.5, like over 2.5 goals, and all like 90% of them have. Like,
Wow.
I don't know if it's like shitty defending or like teams are really going at it, but go like run through the scores. Like, there's very few games that have ended on under 2 goals. So, from an entertainment perspective, as a neutral fan, that's kind of been kind of cool too. Like, you can tune into any game, and if you're lucky, you're going to see at least 2-3 goals.
I agree, and just to add, a good thing about Leagues Cup is its ability to adapt. If we look at how it started to where it is now, like they limited travel for a lot of the Mexican teams. They got 2 tables. It's a little bit more even, and now it's like organized where we face MLS and they face us, but we progress via different routes, so that like in the later rounds we can meet each other again, or like meet MLS or vice versa. And so like I think the adaptability of the or like the organizer's ability to read the room is something to be lauded, because I see a lot of changes that I like. There's some stuff that I don't like, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it change more, and I
Yeah.
like that about this.
Yeah. Again, this format is just needs a couple more tweaks to get to its final form. I just think that we could do home and away and spread this out throughout the entire season instead of having to force everyone to finish this out in 1 month. Like, why is there the urgency or need to have to play this entire tournament from start to finish in just 1 month? Like, why not just spread it out, during midweek games and have a longer format, have a more balanced format where, you got to play these games in Mexico, right? Even out the playing field. And I think that would add a little bit more fairness, more prestige, more interest on both sides. And I think eventually they'll consider doing something like that.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. They said from the get-go it's all about playing in the US. That was from the start of this tournament, that was the name of the game. So I don't think it's gonna happen. But what I do think is gonna happen is more of what we saw with Club America, where they played their home games in Houston. And so like, there was a third party, right? But America is able to orbit the Houston area and claim that as its home and not have to travel much from there. So like maybe we can have some of these teams with designated areas, right? And then they can like just be based out of there, right? And so like I think we're gonna see more of that. And I think that's, I don't know, compromise, I guess.
Yeah, I'm glad that you bring that up. Having like satellite places for visiting clubs makes it a lot easier for like training and logistics and all that. It's just like, great, I can call this home for like a month. And I think they should take advantage of the the MLS teams that are not playing in this tournament, because not all 32 got to play, right? So you got hubs like San Jose, other hubs in the States that could be used since their MLS teams are not participating. That could be like punishment. Like, well, since you're not using these facilities, don't mind us. We're gonna call this home for a month. Yeah, we have the final match day, number 3, kicking off tomorrow. Columbus versus Leon, Toluca, New York, Houston, Pachuca, Montreal versus Puebla, Mazatlan, San Diego, Tigres, LAFC, which I think is going to be an entertaining match. And Tigres should be able to secure next round berth with just a draw. I'm curious to see if Toluca will push through. They are your current Liga MX champions, but who knows what's up with Turco and the team and the players, if they're motivated to keep this going.
I think they will. I mean, they've been playing well. I mean, I don't see no reason for them to fizzle out yet. I think they'll be good. I mean, I think the biggest disappointment for sure has been Leon. I mean, that team's still good. We'll see what those new recruits like Cortizo and the other guy Platano, how that steps up the team, if at all. And Cortizo, man, what happened? He went from being national team starter to Chivas wanting him, now to disappearing away to León.
Yeah, Cortizo officially announced as a refuerzo for Club León. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he fits into that starting 11. If potentially that's encroaching Nene's territory. But you also got James Rodriguez there. So good signing, I think, for León.
So back to Toluca, I think they're doing good. I think they were shaking off the Campeonitis a little bit. You know, we all know Turco loves to party. He's known for being lax in the locker room with a lot of his players. I think some of that post championship, gloom or tiredness was hanging over them. But I think they're a very capable side. I do think they'll progress forward. I'm curious to see if Juarez and Mazatlan can maintain their form, right? If they get another win, they should be a shoe-in. Pumas also looks good. I think they're going to be without Keylor Navas though, who was red carded in his game in his last game, and but they ended up tying that one. Or yeah. I don't understand. Oh, they have 5 points. Okay. So yeah, they drew it and then they won the penalty shootout, and then they won another game. So Pumas, I think they're good, but they're going to be without Kaylor. So I don't know if they can adapt. Necaxa was unlucky not to defeat
Miami.
what's it called, Miami FC,
Yeah.
or Inter Miami. I mean,
Messi FC.
and yeah, and Chiquete, like the penalty they awarded to Luis Suarez was just
I
a
know.
disgrace. It was such a blatant dive by Luisito, and I can't believe they just went for it. And then of course, one of the Inter guys got red carded, and Necaxa was. I just thought they were going to take it. They look very good. They look very good in spite of losing their coach Larcamon and a few other players. And then Chicote got a second yellow, and then he was given a red card. And then Inter Miami had like a free kick at the end that was scored by Jordi Alba, who's short as fuck. He has no business scoring a header off a free kick against them, but he did. And then they won the penalty shootout, and they celebrated it like they won the World Cup.
I know.
I thought that was crazy. I really wanted them to lose, especially Jordi Alba. He's got such like a little chipmunk bitch face. I can't stand.
I can't stand Inter Miami, bro. I really can't.
I do feel they are favored a lot, and the worst part about it is like the players can't even be humble about it. Like they'll be talking shit to your face. They were making the social media rounds when Messi was shit talking some Atlas player.
Oh yeah.
And celebrating some shit, telling him to fuck off. And then that Atlas guy, I think he was Argentinian, he
Sucking
just
him
took it.
off.
He's like, oh, yeah, Messi's the greatest. He can call me whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, bro. I was like, wow. If I was in the front office, I would cancel your contract right then and there. I'd find a way to get rid of him. Like, you're a little bitch, bro. Like, you guys are professional soccer players, man. You can't put any other player on a pedestal. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, I understand that you're countrymen, but you're like, oh, Messi is Messi. I was like, can't wait to say. I'm like, bro, are you fucking kidding me? Like, stand up for yourself, bro. Have some respect, man. For yourself. Don't let that dude just sad.
It was cuck energy. I hate Atlas, and I love the civil war amongst their fan base on X. Some were like completely criticizing him and saying, how come the young kid, he's like, ¿Cómo va a entrar este niño y le va a decir a Messi, chinga tu madre? And you're over here sucking him off. Like have some shame, like terminate his contract. Like, they were so heated. And then people were defending it like, oh, it's his countryman. Like, come on, guys, it's Messi. Anyone would do that. I'm like, fuck no, man. You're there to win. You better be a competitor, man. What are you going to say? Oh, it's Messi. He can, like, walk me around. He can fuck my girl and it's cool because it's Messi. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no. Absolutely not.
And another thing is like, all right, it's Messi. You love him. Keep that shit private. Don't come out to the presser with his jersey and show it off after like his bodyguard was attacking your teammates and he's like rubbing that goal in your fucking face. Have some common sense.
It's crazy. I
Yeah, yeah.
can't stand it.
His bodyguard got like banned from Leagues Cup. Messi's bodyguard for going on the field, starting shit with the Atlas players, telling them to fuck off. And I guess I guess you're not supposed to do that, in spite of being Messi's bodyguard.
Yeah, what's the story with that? He was banned from MLS matches, right?
Yeah, for similar stuff. You know, it's like, hey, buddy, we have our own security. We have everything. Like, chill out. Like, you're his like private security. Like, make sure he gets safe from home to the stadium and stuff like that. But you don't gotta act like it's a fucking combat zone on the field.
Yeah, I think the biggest threat or biggest thing that could happen to Messi if there's an invasion on the field is like somebody will start trying to blow him like on the pitch. No one's gonna try to
Yeah.
take him out, bro. The only one that's taking him out
Probably.
is Necaxa. Took him out and injured him.
Mm-hmm. Grande Necaxa. That's probably good. That's gonna be great behind the scenes for their Netflix special.
Welcome to Wrexham or Necaxa. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I think we are planning on having another swap jersey with battered MLS fans after the match day 3. So I'll definitely give them a little bit of shit about Inter Miami and how they're being carried in this tournament, just like they are in regular season. They play Pumas. Should be a good one to close out the third match. Chivas will play Cincinnati. Don't have any high hopes for them. They've beaten us in the past. A hat trick by Brandon Vasquez at the time eliminated us. So we don't really have a good head-to-head record with Cincinnati, and we'll see what Chivas will do. Even if they win and get 5 points, they still might not make it to the next round. So I think this is it for Chivas and Leagues Cup. Hopefully, Milito will at least rotate the players, get Ant-Man some starting minutes because he deserves it.
Man, speaking of Pumas, I saw a tweet today that said, what's something poor people buy to like look rich? And one of the replies was like Keylor Navas. And I was like, you know what? That makes so much sense. Like Pumas with Navas, was it Ramsey?
Danny Alves.
It's just all these guys. Yeah, it's like these guys are, at the end of the career. And you're like, how did Pumas land them? But then you think about it, and it's like probably cheap contract, except for Dani Alves. But it's like they would never got them in their peak. So I don't know, man. I want to see how Pumas plays out. Efrain Juarez. He was sold as the next big coach, the future of Mexican coaching, and right now Pumas looks eh. It looks eh. Like he doesn't look that promising. He looks like a wannabe Aguirre. Like he's more like press conferences and cursing and like yelling and shit than actually coaching.
Hey, my boy Rubalcaba is looking good though. He's got a goal and assist. I like the guy, man. He's heating up. Carrasquilla also 2 goals, 2 games. Just really good players in a good moment. Memote also got a goal, I believe. So, Pumas, ese gato si casa. They'll do something, I think. Hopefully.
Yeah, I like the Panamanian kid. He looks looks decent.
He's good.
He looks good. Yeah.
That was a great signing.
Yeah, it was. They got him from the Dynamo, I believe.
Carrasquilla.
Yeah, he's good. I think he's what Mexicans want Chino Huerta to be.
He's nothing like Chino Huerta. You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of a younger Romo, where he's a big guy with a good touch, and he could play center attacking midfielder all
He's
the way
only
to libero.
5'7", bro. He's
Yeah,
not that
big
big.
guy.
It's just
What
the
do you mean
hair.
big guy.
Just keep-
He's
I
5'7".
think he's bigger than that.
No, he's 5'7".
No, bro, he's small,
He's
bro.
bulky though.
I've
He's a thick boy.
No, he's
it's
not
the, it's
bulky.
the afro, bro. It's the afro.
I seen that guy in live, and
Yeah.
he is not a big guy.
No, he's not.
He's like a short, skinny, speedy guy.
Yeah, I've covered so many like Gold Cups and Nations League, and he's one of Panama's like best players, right? So very familiar with him, and yeah, he's definitely not a big guy, but he makes
Is
big.
Romo even a big guy?
Romo's like taller for sure. Yeah, he's 6 foot.
No, he's 5'7", dude. No, mommies, you're right. That's crazy, dude. It must be the
Mm.
pro.
It's the fro,
But
man.
I will say he's strong. He's a strong guy. I've seen him. Like he's got a physical presence to him that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
He's a short king.
He's 26. He would be a starter for the national team if he was Mexican, I think, or at least be one of the role players for sure. I like him. He's a great signing for Pumas. Aaron Ramsey, I fear for if he ends up scoring goals in Liga MX because he's gonna murder a lot of people.
Hey, start writing your list and DM it to him. Maybe he'll
He's yet
start
to-
choosing names.
He's yet to play for Pumas, so we'll see, man. He's still an unknown.
Yeah.
He uploaded a story with like flashcards of English and Spanish.
Spanish.
So he's probably still practicing on his flashcards.
He's already made more progress than Cowboy Cal has.
Hey, Cowboy habla español, man. I've seen behind the scenes videos, and he speaks Spanish, bro. He speaks better Spanish than Abdias. So I wouldn't hate on him. But speaking of Spanish and not speaking Spanish so well, I want to see who hops on the national team, or if they don't whatsoever, between Marcelo Flores, Lainez, and Ociel Herrera. Because that Tigres team is so stacked that you expect them to be role players, but one of them has to break out. Like, don't tell me they're just going to settle for the role player lifestyle. You expect one of them to break out, especially if Tigres goes on a championship run. One of them has to hop on the national team because right now none of them are on the national team.
Wait, which players?
Ociel Herrera, Lainez, and Marcelo Flores.
Oh yeah. I think their chances are slim to none, bro.
Have you had a
Ociel-
bet on one though? Have you had a bet on one? Who you bet on that makes the World Cup?
Ociel, he
I think
starts,
Ociel, yeah.
and he scores goals. And then Lainez right behind him also got a few assists, got a good goal the other day outside the box. He might heat up. But Flores is, I don't know, man.
Flores is,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's got to
no.
go. Him and Cordova have to leave Tigres.
yeah. It's a good problem to have for that position. There's just so many players right now. And yeah, that's old news, buddy. Lainez, old news. He didn't pan out. Flores didn't pan out, and
No, he's still young.
he's still young, but I think the problem with Flores is his build, man. This guy's tiny. He's like 5'4", and he's not gonna get another growth spurt.
Yeah.
I saw him when they came to Austin. They played against Chile. I'm like, bro, this guy's little people. He's like 5'4", and he's also like super small. Hasn't stopped players like Gil Mora, but Gil Mora's a little bit taller, and he's got a crazy IQ. He's a fucking genius. Marcelo just, I don't know, he just hasn't panned out. Lainez, he has flashes of brilliance, but inconsistent and, kind of a head case. Old news, man. We're on to Violante. We're on to Gamberos. We're on to new shiny toys.
I like that. Hey, at least
Gamberos didn't even feature in this last game.
Was it injury related, or he just stood on the bench and that was it?
I just think he was on the bench because he played the game before, but only about small cameo. So I think his stock has fallen. Or maybe Melito never rated him.
Yeah, I mean, it's always behind the scenes stuff. I was seeing some stuff during preseason that they had told Yael Padilla that this was it. Like, this was his last chance. If not, they would use him as a trading token for the next tournament. So they sent him to La Sub-21, and he's been doing well. Like, he's been scoring, he's been playing well. But apparently, Milito's not a fan of his lack of defensive work rate. So that's why he's not seeing first team minutes. They like his talent, but they don't like his attitude when it comes to defending and off field stuff. So if he doesn't turn it around and he's not with a first team by the end of this tournament, apparently he's gone. Which, I mean, he's promising, so you could probably get a good trade for him. And he's the number 10 of like the Mexican national team, like U20 or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. So that, he's like one of the best players on the national team in that category. And at Chivas, he's struggling.
I really hate these categories. Gil Mora just breaks that whole fucking theory and logic that, oh yeah, you got to give them time, got to get them to play for the under 17, under 19, under 23. Like, fuck that, bro. Just fucking throw him out there, men against boys. With the things he did against grown ass men, Hondurans, bro. I'm like, yeah, bro. We're not doing any favors for these fucking under 23, under 21. Just fucking throw them out there, bro. Like, do or die.
Yeah, that's the one that pisses me off. Under 23. If I was in charge of FMF and stuff like that, I'd get rid of that. I would find a way to make Liga Expansión better and be like, hey, man, go grind in Liga Expansión. If you're not good enough, you're not good enough. But I'm not keeping around no fucking U23, man. U21 tops, and that's saying something.
Sink or swim. That's just how I feel.
Yeah. You're basically describing the amateur scene of boxing in Mexico, where it's basically non-existent, and which is why Mexicans don't really dominate the Olympics that often in the boxing scene, because like they debut all these kids as professionals like early on, 16, 17, and it's sink or swim. And I do respect that. Part of me does, at least. Yeah, U23 probably not a good idea. U20, U19, and then it's like sink or swim. Yeah, and hopefully like guardrails, like the youth minutes, the Jóvenes rule here in Liga MX, like stuff like that can like help players like prosper here. And I think that's been working. So hopefully we see more of that.
Yeah, the rule with Olympic boxing is you can't be a professional, right? You have to be amateur.
Exactly.
Yeah. There was a really good doc about that. I want to say it was on Netflix a couple years ago. It was really good. And I learned a lot about the like how you have to be an amateur to compete in the Olympics for boxing. And there's this one guy who like got all the way to the final to qualify and then lost, and then he had to wait another 4 years for his shot. And like I think they criticized him for not just like going pro and just giving up on that. And like how in America, like it used to be like pretty prestigious to win an Olympic gold. I know like Oscar De La Hoya did, and that's why they call him the Golden Boy. And yeah,
Muhammad Ali too.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't do that with soccer.
What they did, it used to be that professional players were allowed to play in the Olympics, and then they were banned, and that's how the World Cup was birthed, because all these people weren't allowed to compete in the what's called in the Olympic soccer, And that's why Uruguay has 4 stars instead of 2, because they count the 2 Olympic golds they won prior to the creation of the World Cup, where their professional players were allowed to play. So, soccer did go a similar route. To this day, everyone has to be under 23, with the exception of I think it's 3 players. So soccer did go a similar route, not quite like boxing. It's different, team sport, single sport. It's just, but they do have similarities.
For sure. While we're on the kind of topic of Olympic football, I saw a tweet today that kind of triggered me. It was Mexico and how it's the 26th anniversary of us, beating Brazil and Confederations Cup in 1999. And it's like, I see that clip so many times, and maybe that's why I'm just like fucking over it. Like, it's a great accomplishment, probably our best on the senior level. And obviously the golds in 2012, those are like our highest achievements as far as Mexican football. And it's just pissing me off because I'm like, bro, like if you look at the last 10 years, what can we brag about? What can we hold to the highest regard? Like, this is what we accomplished as a national team. Like, you want to see progression. You don't want to see us go backwards. And, for the national team, it's just been so fucking frustrating not to see us get to that next level. And it's like, so I see that stuff and like all the old heads like love it. They're like, yeah, that's when we were at our best and playing toe to toe with Brazil. It's like, that's cool and all, but what the fuck are we doing now? Like the last time we played Brazil was in the World Cup, and how'd that go? It's like, come on, man. Like, we need to progress. Anyway, that's my rant.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the last great generation was like 2010 to 2014. And, some of that carried a little bit over to the final stretches of 2018. But that 2014 team, that's probably one of the better ones out of the last 20 years. But outside of that, I mean, it feels like 2018 up till 2023 was like a waste of time, national team wise. It felt like the team just took steps back. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that might be. And Nations League, I will always hate on Nations League whenever I get a chance. That's taken a lot of opportunities to grow because at least before you could plan some good friendlies, even if they were against the U.S., against quality teams. And now you can't. Now you're stuck in this CONCACAF bubble. If it's not Gold Cup, it's Nations League.
Rifa, I don't know if you have anything to add on that.
You know what? It was so well put by Habibi. Fuck all the nostalgia. Gotta look forward.
I know I'm gonna trigger people like El Pichichi who's listening. I know Joel and Ron. But look, man, I really like, again, I understand the significance. I mean, I witnessed that championship in 1999. It was great, right? Especially when Cuauhtemoc did that little dance, jaripeo dance when they scored. I mean, iconic, right? But it's like, you gotta stop fucking living in the past, man. You gotta stop bringing up shit from 25, 30 years ago and look at the current status of the Mexican national team, and it's like fucking depressing as fuck, dude.
And speaking of might be depressing for Mexico fans in Mexico, about the future. This might be depressing or it might be bright, depending how you look at it. But the U15 team had a game today against Nicaragua, and they won 9-0.
Mm-hmm.
But what's interesting is that 5 of the players were born in the U.S. 1 was born in Spain. And then out of the 9 goals they scored, 6 were scored by guys that were, born outside of the country. So it tells you where Mexico might be in the next 10 years. I mean, that's alarming. I think if you told that stat to like a Mexico fan, like Joel, Ron, 1994, 1998, like 30 years from now, majority of the starting 11 is going to be born outside of Mexico, they probably wouldn't believe you.
Hey, man, they do it with weed, hybrid strands. Got to have hybrid players. Got to find every loophole. You're Mexican, right? All right. Get them, sign them, secure them. If you guys could have an ideal mix with Mexican, what would it be? Brazilian?
Yeah, Mexican Brazilian. Give me like a bunch of Ciel Herreras, but instead of Cuban, Brazilian.
Some
No, that-
Hobie.
We had Gio and Sage, that was the mix.
Yeah,
Mexican
We need
Brazilian.
we need one of those Mex French players, maybe, or Mex Spanish.
Ivory Coast.
no, I think we can replace the Spanish aspect. I think the Brazilian aspect would be great. Or yeah, Ivory Coast, some African, get some athletics in there, some good genetics. Who knows?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But no, I think Brazilian would be perfect. Plus the cultures and everything, they kind of mix well. The people, no, that'd be perfect. You know, you either get a Sage or you get a Giovanni Dos Santos. Either way, you get a party boy or a fuck boy. It works out.
What hasn't panned out for this experiment is Mexi Argentinians. We've had quite a few. But Luca Romero, not doing so well.
I was the first guy to be like, this is the one, this is the guy. But he hasn't been the guy. He's been starting these last few games, but not a whole lot of goals and assists. And, Cruz Azul, they've been a big letdown, disgrace even.
He scored a crucial PK in the shootout with Cruz Azul, but yeah, I mean, nothing to brag home about, and there's a reason why he's playing at Cruz Azul and he's not at AC Milan. So,
Hey man, Chivas, they have to thank Cruz Azul. They saved us the Luca Romero headache, and they gave us like 15 million for Chiquete. It all worked out in the end.
It did. Chiquete actually missed his PK. Fuckhead. Yeah,
Talk about the fall off for that guy.
He had the winning PK. He literally was gonna score the winner, went full fucking power and hit the crossbar. Cruz Azul were very lucky to win that shootout. But that's all I got on the docket, guys. I don't know if there's any other burning topics you want us to discuss, or if we want to head into our closing thoughts for the night.
I'm good on topics. I'm just, waiting for Liga MX to come back. I'm embarrassed by Chivas. This is 7-8 Leagues Cup games where we have not managed to win a single one. I mean, that's just embarrassing. You can talk about playing away, playing in another country, being early on in the season. That's all bullshit, man. Juarez, Necaxa, Puebla, they're all winning. They've won in past editions, and we can't win one single game out of 7 or 8. That is just damn right embarrassing. Then you have fans like coming out with like, well, we beat Cincinnati, and then this team loses and that team ties. We can still make the next round. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, this team does not deserve to make the next round.
Facts.
And this is the problem with the fans. Is like you're like hoping you're on hopium right now that hopefully all these results give and the team makes it to the next round. Why do you want that? Why do you want to reward them being mediocre, man? It's just annoying. Like, I don't know. Does Amaury not talk to these guys? Does Amaury not say, hey, we've been shit for the last 3 Leagues Cups. I expect better this tournament? Like, even if it's a money grab or whatever, at the end of the day, like you guys said in the beginning, man, it's the legacy. It's like imagen del club, and the imagen that you're giving in Leagues Cup to Americans is that they hear Chivas is one of the biggest team in Mexico, and then they show up every single year and can't win a fucking game. It's like guaranteed points for your team at this point. It's fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Habibi. San Jose Chivas last year broke League's Cup attendance. Over 50,000 fans showed up at Levi's. I was there taking photos, and it's just embarrassing to see Chivas like fail to actually win a League's Cup game in all the editions they've been in. It's inexcusable.
And that will actually be my hot take going into it. That I like how they play with Milito. I think they're missing a little bit of a punch at the end, but I like how the team carries the ball. I like the transitions. I like the recruits. Like that guy, man, what's his name? The guy from Pachuca. What's his first name? Brian or whatever. That guy
Yeah,
plays on.
Brian Gonzalez, the left back.
Yeah, Brian Gonzalez, man. I like that guy a lot. I think he's a great recruit. Efrain, same thing. I think Guti's looking well with Nene not, wasting his time with side passes. I like the team. I like the coaching. I like how everyone's bought in. Like Rifado said, it passes the eye test. So, I just hate it on people with hopium. But I have hopium that this shit's going to turn around because it hasn't on the field. It hasn't given me a reason not for it to say like this team is not going to turn around. Like it looks like it's on the verge of taking that next step. Let's see if it actually happens in Liga MX because in League's Cup it's not going to happen. I mean, Cincinnati has lost 6 games out of the last 30. I find it very unlikely Chivas all of a sudden is going to turn around and beat them because there's no motivation. Because even if they win, they know they're basically out. So their mind's probably already on Liga MX. So hopefully they ball out, man. Hopefully top 4. That's my objective. With the way they're playing, with the recruits that they brought in, it has to be top 4. I'll take a top 4. It has to be a top 4.
I like it, Habibi. We definitely missed you. Appreciate your perspective on tonight's episode. Rifalo, what you got for me, man?
Oof, not a whole lot. Just a shout out some jovenazo that cut my eye. There's this guy who didn't get bought from Juarez. His name is Denzel Garcia. Interesting name, a lot like one of my favorite actors, Denzel Washington. He plays right back, center midfielder, and he's been great. He's been great for Juarez, who's been punching above their weight. I think he's 22 years old. Let me go ahead and confirm. And then Pizarro was also there, having a good moment. So kudos to him. Of course, Gil Mora, fantastic goal. He had like a fantastic long distance goal. And yeah, Denzel is how old? He's 21 years old. I think he deserves to be at a better team. I wouldn't be surprised if Ahmed Bottom or if we need a right back or a center midfielder, he's the guy we should get. Also, Ledesma and Cotorro, just like how Bibi was talking about. Both these guys, under 23 years old, wonderful players. Ledesma, I think he's so good. I think we need to be talking about a one-time switch for Ledesma.
Yeah, I feel bad for leaving him out. He's probably been the one that has impressed me the most. He's good, and you can tell why he was in Europe.
Yeah,
Cotorro's like Mexican good. He's like, yeah, man, that dude has like that like street ball in him. But Ledesma, like he the IQ. I'm impressed by his IQ.
That goal, that peach of a goal he had against North Carolina or South Carolina, Charlottesville.
North.
I mean,
is it North Charlotte?
I don't know. One of the Carolinas. But his goal. So he's in the right wing back spot. He's outside the box. He combines with someone else, and then he shoots with his left foot. He's not left footed. He's right footed. He shoots with his left foot.
Oh shit! I didn't
goes
know that.
in. Beautiful goal. Richard Ledesma, he can play center. He's a midfielder. He's a midfielder who got shifted out to right back at PSV, and that's what he's playing for us. But he cuts in, combines well with others. I I think he's the signing of the season so far. Efrain also really good.
Yeah.
And Cotorro, like right behind Ledesma,
Yeah.
as far as like the best signing for Chivas. Great player. We've already talked about Gil Mora with his goal and how great he's looked. But one of his compatriots got a goal the other day, Arciga, and he's a right winger, basically the replacement for Efrain Alvarez. And he looked really good. 21-year-old that you guys need to watch out for. Plays for Cholos. And then Montiel, we already talked about how he had that long distance goal. Pachuca was unlucky to, I think they lost, right? The last game.
I believe
And,
so.
but I do think they can make it out of the group. Yeah, they tied and then they lost in penalties
Yeah.
in their last game. But Montiel also looking good. My boy at Puebla, Rey Mejia, he had a bad game where they lost. Unfortunate. And yeah, those jóvenes, there's some young guys doing really well. I'd say the best one, the one that I want to shout out is Denzel Garcia, center midfielder, right back for Juarez, because they're really punching above their weight, and he's doing really great. Big important player for them. So, yep, thanks for having me, and have a great one, everyone.
Hey, Rifado, there was a player on Rayados that was featured against Red Bull, Joaquin Alejandro Chapa. I think he's 19, but yeah, I noticed he had like a triple digit jersey. So I was like, oh, that's another young player to keep an eye out.
I'll have to keep an eye out on him. I didn't watch any of Monterrey's games, so
okay.
That's why I missed him.
Yeah, and on the other side for New York Red Bull, there was this kid named Julian Hall, 17 years old, and scored. So, typical U.S. men's national team fans are already starting to suck him off. But yeah, they won on PKs, 5-3. But yeah, Monterrey. We'll see. We'll see if they can get squeezed through. It's gonna be tough. Joel, not sure if you're still on or doing dad duty, but
No, same here, man. No real final thoughts. I still like what Lito's doing. I still trust him. I think it's a bit unfortunate, that blunder in the last minute cost him the draw, the point, and then another late goal for the draw, and then they have to go to PKs. I don't think Chivas far from what he's trying to do. I'm still giving him a lot of benefit because he hasn't been in the club that long. So for the time he's been and what he's trying to do, and what he's trying to inject to the side, who seems to lack a lot of, self-esteem, I think things are going well. So let's see how they do in the Liga.
thanks, Joel, for joining us tonight. Thank you for all the listeners. And if you're new to Cantina, we encourage you to return. We try to podcast Monday and Tuesday nights, 8:30. Keep an eye out for that collaboration we're going to have after the conclusion of the third match on Thursday. We're going to try and get some different perspectives from the MLS side of things. But yeah, so far the predictions have been so bad. It's like the teams that you unexpected are, making Liga MX proud, and that was not on my agenda. But gotta give flowers to Juarez, man. They're doing their thing. Mazatlan doing their thing. Tigres doing what they're expected to do, and very curious to see what the Final Four from the Liga MX side will look like. And looking forward to kind of like just more action after this League's Cup, right? Liga MX will start over after these third matches. So Chivas will have a game on Thursday and on Sunday. So looking forward to that. But yeah, don't have any closing thoughts. Just want to say thank you to everyone for joining tonight. Make sure to go to our website, cantinamx.com. I promise I will be dropping new merch soon. It's on my list, and we want to add some more swag. So keep an eye out for that. Everyone have a great night. We'll catch you on the next one.